Target Trading Academy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Preston Vogel here, instructor at Target Trading Academy. Today is Wednesday, October 6th. It is 4:36 p.m. Markets are done pretty much for the day. Oil, with your quick recap, we opened gap down. We never got back inside of yesterday's range. They had rejection of higher prices and came down. We did have some valid signals to take reversals initially at the top of this HVA level that Patrick gives out. Some inverse potential. Not for me in my books. For the micros, it was just too choppy. So I didn't trade oil today. Gold, it opened inside of yesterday's range. We had two great entries off of Pat's levels, reversal and inverse that you learn. You get the inverse in your first round of money management, but everyone starts with the reversal and how to execute that properly. And then next we have our equities here. ES, let me just scroll over here for you. Choppy day. These past 2 days have been choppy. Monday was okay. This opened up gap down from yesterday's range. See, it's quite large. So yesterday's range, this is here, had some play. That was pretty low, and that's marked by this area at 42.73.75. That was the low from yesterday's overnight. Or I should say the overnight that / pre-market, right? And then we opened at 9:30 just below yesterday's range. So that's this blue line is the low from yesterday's range. We had rejection of higher prices shortly after it opened, and it went choppy right after that. It was not the best. There were some trending indicators and advanced entries that some students could have taken, but for the most part, the ES was done. As you notice, we do have this area at 42.87. That's just an area that I put up based off of what I teach in my room, the micros room. And its first signal that it threw out for a valid entry wasn't until this one here. So these here, where it crossed over, didn't meet the parameters of taking an entry. So these were disqualified, while this one did. Actually met it perfectly. This is almost a picture perfect entry. That one of the best ones I've seen in the recent times. But this is an entry that I teach, and it's last time it saw that area. We did have a reversal entry off of Pat's high volume areas that he gives out the night before that some of our students took. Both in the minis and the micros. But as this is the minis room, I'm only going to be showing micro trades today that students took. But that was the last time that this area was hit at 42.87. After that, it pretty much went up and never saw it again. It did bounce around in between that white space of the HVAs, but it really didn't want to go lower, right? And that makes you question, well, inflation. Well, I guess what? Big banks are in charge. It doesn't matter what anyone says, as long as they're going to throw around their weight, right? You got to know what they're doing, or jump on when they're jumping on stuff. So if you don't know that and you believe the news out there of, well, we should have a deficit, it should be going down, or up, then you're going to get smacked around like a pancake being flipped on a skillet. That just means you don't know anything about what you're doing, right? You just have to respond to what's going on in the markets. And I like to tell my students, trade objectively, not subjectively. If you don't know what that means, objectively means look at what's going on in the market, the context of the market, how things are behaving around the HVAs, high volume areas, if you didn't know what that meant. While if you're trading subjectively, that means you're responding emotionally. You're getting emotionally invested in the trade. Well, it's got to work. Oh, I hope this works kind of mentality, right? And that's just not something you can have. But so far for the ES, it had that initial rejection and then of a higher price, and then the buyers stepped in. And that's something that we've just been seeing lately, and have these large ranges. So it almost has that whole range done for the day again. Well, and then some, right? Now, NASDAQ didn't open gap down, but it did open on the lower end of its side from yesterday's range. So if we scroll back to that, I'll show you here. And if you're not familiar with these charts, this is a blue water chart. And so the dashed line here is the opening of the pit. And this blue line is what I threw in as the low range from yesterday. So everything over here is overnight. So we opened inside of yesterday's range, and it had that same initial setup. It it shot up, and then we had a rejection. It was choppy, and then it made a newer low for the day. It broke in down below the range, and this is around that same time where we just never saw it again down here. So it did give some valid entries for reversals that you could learn in our rooms. But for the most part, today in the NASDAQ and ES, there was pretty choppy. Oil was pretty consolidated. Gold had some decent setups. But again, most of the trades were for the morning. So that's pretty much it. Again, it made, its highs again. This time, we're ending outside of the range. So this made a whole range extension, top to bottom. Quite a bit of participation in that regard. But just choppy overall, right? Not something that we want to get stuck in, right? You can see this going around that area in yellow, that point of control. So that's what happened in the markets today. Let's just go over a few trades that were taken in the micros room by students. Majority of these students are live. We'll start with Curtis. Curtis took a trending entry that you learn in your second round of money management. It's a trending entry. He took it in the micro NASDAQ, up $38 live, real money. So this was before the markets opened. This was at night. It says 21:53, so that's almost midnight, right? That's too late for me. But he did an excellent job. Next, Miro took a entry with the Oracle bot. This again was before the markets were open. Yes, you can trade before the markets are open. That's what futures, the beauty of trading futures are. And he took this with 3 contracts with the bot, up 22.50. He's in his second round of money management, so according to those rules, he can only risk so much, so he doesn't lose anything. So he did end up taking another trade in today that fit his parameters, and we'll get to that shortly, but let's move on. Here we got Roman Jacobus. He took a advanced entry that we teach only to live students, or students that go live. He's up 472.50 in the micros. Yes, that's in the micros. So micros are 1/10 of the minis. He took this with 9 contracts, so that's 9/10 of a 1 lot. So he's up huge in the micros. If people say, you can't make money in the micros, well, they're just wrong. And even if you're only making $50 a day, let me tell you, that's more than most people make who say that they trade. So Roman did an excellent job. It's not the only entry that was taken by a live student here at this area in the micro ES. Morgan took this trade. As you can see, it's a little bit more zoomed in. She made $147.50. So she did an excellent job. Again, it's just an advanced entry that we teach live students. Again, this was the micro ES right after the open. And here we have Roman taking that same advanced entry, but in the micro Dow. This is the top chart that he has here. And then he got 280 out of that. So he took that one with 5 contracts. So he took it as a half lot from, if you compare it to the minis. So he made over $600 trading the micros. Excellent job. He was sent packing for the day. We told him to leave. He's done. You got to protect what you make. Moving on. We got William, who is working his way live. He took a micro Dow reversal short based off of the HVA levels that Pat gives out each night before the markets open. He trailed his last one, and he made $38 on Sim while he's working his way to live. And then Miro got that last bot trade with his Oracle bot. He took it with a 1 contract because that's all he could do it with. Valid signal up 36.25, working his way to live. He's on his second round of money management. It's typically after the second round of money management that students go live. Some choose to do additional if we feel that they need it. But typically students go live after their second round of money management. So that's what he's working towards right now. He executed it perfectly. Obviously, the bot executed it for him, but he managed it. That's one thing with the trading bots. They're trading assist bots. They can't think for you, so you still have to monitor them, but they're an excellent tool to help you get in on entries that might just be too quick for a normal human to respond to, because some of these things can just whip to these edges of our HVA for a valid entry, and then before you can even blink, they're already at an area that would have been profit for you. And if you get in at that point, who knows if you'd actually make your next target. So he did excellent job with that, and he was done for the day. And then lastly, we have Darlene here, who took the reversal short in the micro ES before that entry down here off of what I teach, and additional into my room at the aqua that I had marked. So she got $50 off of that reversal short, live real money. If any of you are scoffing at that, well, you know what? Show me your statements. Come into my room. Prove it to me that you can do this, because guess what? $50 a day, that's almost $1,000 a month extra, right? That's no laughing matter. That's part-time job for some people, right? And this was only a 3-minute trade or so. So $50 in 3 minutes is no laughing matter. If you are interested in learning what we do here at Target Trading Academy, want to step into the room, see how we do things, contact one of our representatives. You can reach them through Facebook. You can go to targettradingacademy.com. You can explore that website, see what we have to offer. Go to Trustpilot. I think that's where the reviews are at, Trustpilot, and look us up. And you'll see that our students love us, and see why we have so many live students in our rooms. Again, my name is Preston Vogel, instructor here at Target Trading Academy.